Today's session is all about talking about the pre-foundation course and its importance. What does it entail? Why should a design aspirant take it? So all these questions we will be answering in the session. And towards the end of the session, we would have a Q&A round wherein you can have any questions. I would really request all the students and let's have your parents as well along with you to be part of the same. So let me just introduce you today to our panel of speakers here. So along with me today we have Professor Bhargav Mistry. So
hello.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
So
good evening.
Bhargav sir is our Dean for Design Culture. He's the mentor for Foundation and Product Design Department at Arch College. A practicing design consultant for over 40 plus years of experience. He has worked on multiple challenging projects, across industrial, domestic products and equipment design. His projects has also received international patents. So, good evening, sir, and welcome for today's session.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. Okay.
Thank you. Then we have another panelist, Mr. Manan Surana. Manan is Assistant Director for Business Development at Arch College. He mentors photography course. He is a trained product designer from London. He has studied in Central St. Martin's and he is very culturally rooted and working towards an approach which is more problem solving. So he is a passionate wildlife photographer and conservator. And so Manan would be taking us through the details about the pre-foundation course for which we all are here today. Before starting with the pre-foundation and meanwhile, more participants join in, let me just share my screen, show you a brief audiovisual presentation about the institution, like what we look like, what we do here, and then we go ahead with the session. So I'm sharing my screen here.
So hi everyone. I hope you guys had a full lunch because then usually after lunches, you have this nap time and I don't want to be boring. So we'll try to keep it crisp and quick for everybody. I'm going to share with you what we're going to go through during the program and how the program is going to change how you look forward to the course. So the whole point of preparing you for your pre-foundation is for you to align with your career goals, or for you to understand what you want for your career. Even if you look forward to the course, you will be designers because you've made a choice that design is what you want to learn, or design is what you want to surround yourself with. So the whole program is designed to help you understand how your journey is going to be for the next 4 years, and just to give you a brief idea what design really means, other than what art is and what hobby-based or passion-based projects are, and how to turn that into a structured way of learning, and also a way to make money. That is very important. So Arch has always been a hub for business mindset and entrepreneurship. So along with design, students here, they develop skills which are entrepreneurial. So when you finish your 4-year program, a lot of our alumni, almost more than 70% of them, they have their own brands. In second year itself, they start selling their products, creating their products on campus, creating their Instagram pages, and learning about, because as much as making is important, it is as important to be able to sell it to the right people, where your product or your design with the correct mindset is a useful one, and not something that is not useful. So the problem solving approach for a designer is very important. So that's why where our hashtag comes in, hashtag or design thinker, which you must have seen on all our platforms. So I'm going to quickly share a presentation with you. Meanwhile, Bhargav sir, if you could address everybody and have a 2-minute chat.
Real warm welcome to all present here. Aspirants of design, one of the most important, I'd say, domains of learning and training for the times and for the times to come. So, you see, in order to be pursuing the subject of design, which you see everywhere around us, everything that you touch, feel, use has not just an element of design, but it's a design by itself. And in order to create these, there are several factors, there are several things which need to be very carefully not just understood, but to be as part of your skills, right from understanding what is form, what are textures, what are colors, what are sounds, what are different senses, to be able to perceive things from a usability point of view, all these ergonomics. And so now Manan here will get into the details of this, and he will run you through what, therefore, a pre-foundation program, how it will train you to just be on the edge of entering the ocean of design. So, Manan,
yes, sir.
Take it on from there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Bhargav sir. Yeah, so welcome everybody to the Zero class for the pre-foundation program in art and design. I am the program leader for the course and the assistant director here at Arch. Coming on to what the program would entail and what we would take you through during the program, during 4 rigorous weeks and a whole month packed with energy, classes, a lot of learning, daily projects, outcomes, and understanding how you can identify yourself as a designer within the process. A lot of times in school, when I was also a student, it is not really clear. Sometimes you figure out it later that, my interest is not in maybe fashion, it is in graphics, or not in graphics, in interiors. So this time will really help you explore all different fields of design that are there, gain skills of all different designs that help to build you as a person, as your identity in the design field and as a designer. So Arch is a very multidisciplinary environment. We have all labs on campus. We're in the heart of the city. The industry is right next door. So we will try to make it as interactive as possible. And to start with that, the first module we're going to begin with is design thinking, as to, understanding processes, how to define problem statements, brainstorming and ideation techniques, prototyping and testing of the ideas. So people understand prototyping as testing as physical forms, but you need to also prototype and test your ideas and your thoughts and bounce them off. So design thinking is going to be our first module. The second one is going to be principles of design, where we'll explore lines, shapes, colors, textures. But then there are color wheels, right? And then there is nature, where there are colors around us, and how those colors are used in fashion, in graphics, in interiors, and what role color psychology really plays for users. Have you ever imagined why the Microsoft blue is a particular blue, and why it was designed by Mr. Surya Vanka, who delivered a keynote at our conference led by Professor Bhargav Mistry and Megha ma'am? That was a research conference. So wouldn't it be weird if you look at one blue color and it sort of irritates you every time you see it? But it's designed in a way that every morning you open your desktop and you see that blue color and it does not irritate you. It is that particular tint and shade of blue that does not affect your color psychology, and it does not affect the way of your thinking and looking at it repeatedly. So color plays an important role. It's about balance. There's a lot of things about contrast, how materials come together. The next one's going to be visual communication. Today, you all have your phones. Some of you might be interested in photography. I am a wildlife photographer, and I've been into wildlife for almost a decade. And that's what really got me into observing my surroundings. When you observe your surroundings and learn from it, that is how the visual communication process will be led, from by documentation, being present to your surroundings, having your smartphones in action, always documenting each and everything you're observing and seeing, because you never know where inspiration strikes later. A lot of times I'm looking at my pictures, old pictures, and it gives me new ideas. The fourth one is typography, and I think that is a very important part of not just graphics, but all subjects, because typography, the style of writing that you use to communicate an information to the end user or the person that you're trying to deliver that information to, plays a very important role in what communication is. Understanding typography, different types of typefaces, using typography to create effective communication, and creating your own types. Then comes the fifth module, which is branding and identity. Today, it's an aspiration for everybody that, people know me by my name when I become a designer, or I have my own label. Or a lot of you might be thinking that I want to start my own firm or my own company when I graduate from this course, right? So we start branding our identity at a very early stage. In first year itself, you would learn basics of portraying yourself and showcasing yourself as a professional, because the day you join the program, you have become a fashion designer and you have become a product designer or a jewelry designer. And that is your identity from that day on for the next 4 years that you're going to build. So it is very important to understand what are the basics of branding, what is identity, how does one get related to a brand, understanding and creating brand identities, what are guidelines, how to set these guidelines for yourself. Then comes your user experience. Now, at the end of the day, we are designing for someone, and that someone is the user. If the experience for a user is not satisfactory or is not pleasurable, if there is not beauty, form, and function in the user's experience, is the user really going to have fun with the design that you're creating? So we're going to talk about user experience, importance of who the user is, and how to create designs that are user-centric. So even in graphic design, it does not matter that it has to be a physical product. When I was studying industrial product design, I was taught that everything is a product, from a pin to a plane, to a software, to an interaction with somebody. Even I am a product of my university and my college, or the culture that I represent, or the city, or the particular cultural context that I come from, right? The next module is going to be about design tools and softwares. You know that there's a lot of advanced technology that has come in. So we will explore with artificial intelligence also within the classroom. There's a lot of, scare or insecurities that people have today, that, okay, why should I do design? Tomorrow an AI will do the job better. So Arch has already started working on those lines and improvising our pedagogic teaching to make sure that students have the cognitive skill sets to control the AI, to think one step ahead, and to be understanding of what emotional design means, to be understanding what the human perspective is within design, and using these design tools and softwares to your advantage. So we're going to explore those during the 7th module, and then we will do a final project. So while you do all these modules, there are going to be multiple sub projects and mini projects that will be integrated within all modules. So something for color, something for thinking, something for typography, something for branding identity, user experience, communication, and design tools. And within this month, we will see how all these skills, how these tools would come together to create a final project brief that I will help you create for yourself. Not that I'm telling you what to do, but we will create an individual design brief for each person, integrating each and every module as an outcome, and create an exhibition at the end of the program. During this course, there are 12 masterclass series that we did during COVID also. So we have a total number of more than 18, but we're going to start with the 12 because the topics are such that it would take you a little bit of time to get acquainted with what design means and what the terminologies are. And so you're going to start with 12 master classes within the program. We're going to have sessions with 3 international classes with faculty from abroad who are going to take specialized subject topics with you, small 1-hour sessions where they will talk about what's going on in the industry, what's a global standard for such scenarios, what is really the industry's demand, what is the user coming forward with to the academia, and the relation between the academia and industry from a global perspective. So that is going to be 15 experts in just 1 month for all of you. Then comes our experience of this Jaipur city. We will take you on an exposure trip that we are planning, making you experience architecture from interior, making you experience handicrafts from product, textiles for fashion, graphic design for how the branding of Jaipur as a pink city is formed, and also it being a center for jewelry. So we're going to cover all the different subjects that are there on our exposure trips, giving you the experience of what the city really has to offer. Jaipur is a power-packed place, unlike any other city in India. And that was the main reason why I had to leave London and come back, because I had this calling with the city. And I always felt that there is no other city like Jaipur. Even my friends from Mumbai and Bombay are jealous because they think that Jaipur has so much to offer. There's a balance of life here. You get everything, yet there is a simplicity there that is available. There's so much of heritage, so much of craft, so much of different traditions, so many art forms. And the old city is so popular that in every lane, you would find a new artisan working on a different craft. And there are communities set up in the old city. So that experience really gives a holistic environment for any design students to be in. Rajasthan is one of the largest furniture manufacturer, largest for fashion also, crafts also, and products also, and a marvel for jewelry. And the architecture and the interiors in the city itself, you would be mesmerized. It's a World Heritage Site, and it has its title as a pink city for a reason. I mean, when I was in London, people used to ask me where you belong. So I used to open the Instagram and tell them that you need to swipe on the filters twice left and you will see my city there, but you will not see any other city in India. So that is the benefit of being in Jaipur, and what the city has to offer, what art has to offer is in front of you. Yeah. So let us design for a creative economy together. I'm looking forward to the program, and being a photographer myself, I'm going to be very keen on ensuring that documentation is on point, and I'm going to keep troubling you that you document each and everything and make sure everything is penned down, and no empty sketchbooks. If there is a sketchbook you start before this course, you must finish it. And if you start another one, you must finish that one also. So we'll keep that as a rule during the program. I'm putting it to you in advance so that you're mentally prepared. And then that's Bhargav sir and me. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you soon. There are two junior associate teachers who are going to be assisting on the program, Mr. Ratindra and Ms. Aditi Vyas. Aditi represents a fashion and textiles background, and Ratindra is also from the product and industrial side. So we'll have both hard and soft faculty associates who will be helping us during this program or facilitating any queries that you might have. Otherwise, Bhargav sir and I will always be available. If you need any questions to talk about design, I will now leave the floor to Megha ma'am and Bhargav sir. If you have any questions, please write in the Q&A box or the chat box, and I will respond to as many as I can. Thank you so much. Looking forward. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Manan. Right. So, sir, before Q&A, I would like you to add anything which is useful for students and parents here. Yeah.
Well, I think asking questions is a very important aspect.
Oh, we got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got one?
We got
we
one.
got to have several.
Yes. I
So
think
let's start
we
with the
need
first
more.
one. What is
Because
it?
with three of us who can type quickly, so the more you give us, the better it is, you know.
It says, what's the difference between visual communications and graphics design? Gia is asking, so you might
Right.
like to address that.
Right. Right, Gia. Thank you so much for the question. So, Gia, graphic design is an approach that is towards adapting what you see into the environment to be prepared for communication. And visual communication is the first experience you have on seeing something or reacting to it. So let's say there is a display window, and it's a fashion display when you go to malls, and they do these every season, they change these visual merchandising, right? So what you see there is visual communication of how fabrics, products, texts, offers, and content is being pushed for a user. And graphic design is who creates those elements for being communicated. Am I making sense to you?
Yeah, I think that's, you put it fairly well. It's just that anything which you see out of the five senses, one of them is visual sense. So anything, any sort of communication, whether it's to inform something or whether it's to express something, to tell a story, if it is done through the visual media, it is all about visual communication. Now, in the visual communication, you have so many different ways of communicating. One is through, like, simply say posters, through some illustrations, some graphics, through animations, through films, through documentary films, through anything which is visually appealing. And then when you add audio to it, it becomes audio-visual communication. So it's fairly simple to understand, right? And graphics is one of the element of visual communication. Yeah. Any other questions? There are 4 questions lined up. Great. Manan, you are mute.
Yes. So the next question is, what is user experience by Afra, and how is user experience design useful in the coming future? So I think, Bhargav sir, would you like to take this up? You've designed products for a lot of users and people are using them. Yeah.
See, just take an example by yourself, Afra, right? Afra is the name. You as a person, like let's say, are doing some sort of some online work. Let's call it purchasing tickets, or let's say buying something from, let's say, a platform called Amazon. And the other is like, let's say, Flipkart, or there are so many other platforms. Now, what user experience talks about is how does Afra, who is the user, navigate through all these things in order to get what you want in the most pleasant, in the most with a very good experience, of going through the process, because it'll mean pressing several buttons. It'll mean navigating through certain, and how quickly and how enjoyably can you attain what you want. Now, this is so far as such an experience is, I mean, such an application is concerned when you are doing online shopping. But like, for instance, if you take any product, all right, let me put it at the focal length, or maybe I have to unclear my, okay, here is a spray bottle. You do that and some kind of a spray comes out. Now, there is also user experience involved. Now, for the spray to come out, there are several ways. Either you squeeze it, it comes out, you press from the top, or you twist it, comes out. So everything has a different experience. So what is the best experience that you can give to a user? You sit inside an automobile. Every automobile has its own environment which appeals to the user. Some users love it for whatever controls they have to, in order to make the automobile work. So it'll involve colors, it'll involve textures, it'll involve ergonomics, the entire process of making the whole experience beautiful. Yeah, that is user experience. And it can be applicable in anything, even if you're writing a book, even if you're reading a book or seeing a film. What is the experience? How is the same story told in different ways? You see, so it's a subtle thing. And when while being trained as a designer, you learn this very well, and it can be applied in any form of design. Yep. Any other questions?
So there is another question. I think Megha ma'am, is she on call? Is Megha ma'am with us? No?
I wish I could.
So yeah, the question is, I wish I could attend pre-foundation as my board falls in May, but my question is that do we have diploma business course with BDES? So a diploma course is a different degree, Tanu, and BDES is a different degree. A diploma would be a different certification or an award, and a BDES is a different award. A BDES is a 4-year program which we have at Arch, yes, and a diploma course also we do. So you must be knowing about Bachelor's of Business Administration, which is BBA. So we have a BBA program in which you can take a major, minor specialization of any design subject. So you do your business related program, and then parallelly with the business program, you can also do your design within the course. So that is a 3-year program where you do BBA plus design, right? And then the diploma business course, if you want to do a diploma, then we have that also, where you can do a 1-year certificate program, but then that program would be specifically on design. Yeah. And if you want to integrate it, we have a 3-month program, which is a creative entrepreneurship program, which we deliver for senior people who have already worked in the industry and who are already running a brand, or who already have a business that they are wanting, where they want to do design intervention and make their businesses better. So that we have, which is a creative entrepreneurship program. And along with that, you could take up a 1-year certificate program. But for you, a BDES is more relevant since you're just out of school, and that would be a better choice for you. Second question is, what is interior architecture? How is it different from interior design?
Well, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, architecture basically means making a place of habitation, making a place for work, making place for anything, for different sorts of work. It could be restaurants, hospitals, residential complexes, offices, cinema halls, and so on. And that means doing the outer structure and the spaces inside. Interior architecture would basically mean, how do you design the spaces inside?
Yeah.
Right? The spaces where people will do movement, where people will work, where people will interact, what sort of columns and what sort of walls and all that. Interior design, on the other hand, will mean, okay, once the interior architecture is over, that means inner space is designed, the outer space is designed. How do you fill this up with different furnishings, furnitures, air conditioning systems, or HVAC systems, or generally floorings, or generally doing up the space to achieve a better experience. So that's the difference between interior architecture, interior design. Yeah. Anything else? There are some more questions in the line.
Very accurately put, Bhargav sir.
Yeah.
It was an interesting question.
Yeah.
For once, it makes you think.
Right. So I think that answers the question. Yeah.
Right. So Megha ma'am has lost connection. She'll be rejoining soon.
Yes.
I'll get to the next question. And anonymous attendee, when does this course begin and how long is it? And are there separate fees required for it? No. So if you have already enrolled onto the program and if you've registered with us to come and join this session, it is a part of your fee. It is because people who applied on this program applied way in advance and finished their examination way in advance. This program is free of cost for them because they'll be joining the course that is going to start after 1 month of break when April finishes. So June, when they come back, they're going to start onto the main program, which is their BDES degrees or their any other degree that they've chosen, or the international BA program that they've chosen. And so yes, now we are getting inquiries from a lot of people if there is a separate fee for this for people who did not apply to this program from the start. And if you could just reach out to somebody in our team, they will let you know about how you could get onto this program with a separate fee where you're not opting for the course, but just this program if you really want to have a 1 month power pack course with us. So yeah, it's open for all, but it is free for the students that have already applied to us, gone through the process, completed EAD, and have already joined the program, right? Next question we have from, what should be more important, the balance in a design or the emphasis and contrast in the details? I'll send you a piece of research paper I wrote on this. So funny. Yeah, I think this is a debatable topic and you can't nitpick, but I think
I'd say both are very important.
Balance is what is important. The first word that you started with, Sohani.
Yeah, you can, put it this way, that both are equally important. There are times when you want let's say your design consists of many elements, and some of them are interrelated to carry out a certain function. But there are certain elements which are purely meant for, let's say, safety. There's a safety button. There is a hazard. Now that has to be in contrast to the overall harmony of the design, isn't it? It should be
Right.
easily accessible. Like you're on a treadmill, and you know how that how the buttons work there. So especially that emergency stop button, it's in high contrast. It's a red in color, very well located, so you can. So it's in contrast to the whole harmony of the things. There are so many other examples that you can. So both are equally important. Yeah, it has to be used intelligently, the balance and the harmony.
So I have this small example of rosewood. Looks like a pebble, but then it is a inch tape. So yeah, it reminds me of the balance in design and the emphasis and contrast in detail. I think both are really important to come up with a product that is so minute yet so detailed and does everything with ease. Right? Megha ma'am, a student had a question. If you could
Yeah.
just have a look and answer in the chat box if there are any questions related to other than the program.
Unfortunately, I'll,
Yeah.
sorry.
You can read it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have lost the questions which were there in
No,
class.
here
Oh,
it
right.
Got
right.
lost.
It
Yeah.
says, Tanu says, she asks, I wish I could attend a pre-foundation as my board falls in May. But yes, my question is that, do we have diploma business courses with BDES?
Ideally, diploma business courses, when you ask, maybe you can put it again into the chat box. Are you looking for a short term or a particular duration of course? Otherwise, the BDAS, the main course starts in the month of July, and it is an intensive program where you have a almost full day kind of, classes, and you get a lot of projects along with. So you don't have that kind of time to do a separate diploma course. So when are you looking for this diploma, and any specific interest area if you have, if you can put it into the chat box for me. Yeah. Then
We could also explore the BBA with design. So if it
but
is not a
the
diploma,
candidate is looking for BDES, right? That's what the question is.
yeah,
Along
yeah,
BDES.
with BDES. So
Yeah. So
she
if,
is looking for a degree program.
so then the good idea is to go for the BDES, take a
Yes.
specialization and focus on it completely rather than getting into diverted fields.
Right.
Yeah.
Next, ma'am, there was another candidate who was asking that is the pre-foundation open for people who have not enrolled earlier, and if they can pay a fee and join the program as well.
There is an opportunity for the students who are still into the dilemma, and they are not very sure about their choice and the decision. So for them, yes, you can go for a 1-month pre-foundation course with us. There is a fees which you have to pay. So what you can do, you can connect with us, speak to our counselors, and we'll be able to help you with the details. Yes,
For
you
the
can do
ones
that.
who have completed their examination, it's free. It's included.
Yeah,
For the ones who have completed, for
right,
them
so-
it's included.
Right. So those of you who would be enrolling with Arch by 3rd of April, for them, this is a 1-month complimentary bridge course. You don't need to pay anything additional. This is
Yes.
a 1-month complimentary course. So you have to enroll before 3rd of April. And yes, you will be part of the pre-foundation course. Nothing additional. Yeah. It's a cost.
Perfect. Next question we have is, okay. When
Yes,
does this
Mark.
course begin and how long is it, and are there separate fee? Okay. Course
We just
begins
started,
on
yeah.
10th.
Right, 10th of May.
Course begins on 10th of May and it will go on till a month,
Yes.
and then you will have 1 month of break, and then the session will start.
Yes.
Right? And in the first year, we will be taught everything. And then from the second year, we will be taught on our specialized like interior design. Well, ideally, you can say that the first year is more about exploration and setting the foundation, or the structure of what would inform your education. So it's important to learn about different techniques, different subjects that are there. And from the second year all, it's core studies related to specialized subjects that you take on. So yeah,
Yeah.
the first year is a foundation year.
But in foundation year itself, you know, you will have certain modules which will start guiding you and redirecting you towards the field of specialization, what you have chosen. So definitely there are going to be certain modules which are very specific to your streams chosen. Yes.
Yeah. So you would experience those a little, both a little bit of freedom and also focus towards the specialization that you want to build yourself.
Right.
I hope that answers your questions, Kriti. Sanya, how AI technology will take job of fashion designer? I can show you. It will not. As long as, Sanya, you are a person of thinking and you build your cognitive skills, you look at emotion as an important factor, because fashion is our clothes, it's everything, you know. Fashion design, if you're talking about, then our body and our clothes are something that we are always gonna be very connected to, because these things we wear on a daily basis, we interact on a daily basis. So how AI will make it better is in terms of how technology can get upgraded to figure out what or how things best suit your body type. That is an area where AI technology would make it better. As far as designing is concerned, as long as crafts are alive and as long as there is value for the way fabric is created, there is no role of AI. However, there is new design developments and new craft interventions that can come forward with AI technology on understanding what is a fiber strength, or what are the structures that can be improvised rather than just a cross hatch or a weave pattern, or different knitting technologies can come into play in terms of fashion design. But your standard practices would remain same, and how you design as a designer would remain same. It would just make it quicker and faster to do better research, to get access to data faster. So your design process is more qualitative and quantitative rather than focusing on the base building for coming to a collection more. So you would be able to have ease of information. That is how it will get better, but it will not take away jobs. Technical jobs would get reduced at maximum, because a lot of it will be mechanized and be done by robotics. The things that will be done by hand will always be done by hand. What is manual jewelry design? So when you come and visit us, the campus is full of manual jewelry. We've been teaching jewelry for the longest period in all of India. We have the only jewelry design BDES program in India, and we have a complete lab set up for manufacturing jewelry, for jewelry fabrication, for post-processing metals, different types of metals, and everything is done by hand. So we believe that it is very important in your early stages to do things by hand, because ultimately when you have to get it done by people outside in the industry, you need to understand those technicalities and understand those materials firsthand. So that is manual jewelry design, and visit our campus and you will experience manual jewelry design on campus. I can give you a small example. This is all done by hand on the Arch campus. The wood is laser cut on campus. The casting is done on campus. The design is done on campus. So these are the instruments of Rajasthan, along with a turban man with a mustache, and it reads Jaipur. Abhi aapko ulta dikh raha hoga. But yeah, this is one example. Then there is a small paperweight also. So this is all done on campus in our own labs and facilities.
There's one question relevant to Mega. Is the
Hostel facility for
offline
boys.
or
So
offline?
yeah. Right. So the Keshav's question, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Keshav has put two
yeah.
questions. One is hostel facility for boys, and another is online and offline foundation.
Right. So the session definitely starts on 10th of May, and for boys we help them with the accommodation near the campus. So the campus is into the heart of city. We are very close from airport to railway stations. And there's a good residential area around the campus. So we'll help you with the PG accommodation. We have a good list of PG accommodations available. So we'll help you with that, number one. Number two, about the pre-foundation, this is going to be on campus, offline mode. And because this is, as Manan explained, earlier, this is experiential learning it's all about. So you'll be doing a lot of hands-on thing, presenting, you'll be visiting Jaipur and its different parts. So this is going to be offline. Yes. So next is Suhani. Yeah.
Right. So yes, the pre-foundation is going to be completely offline because it's hands-on. And there is a hostel facility for girls that is provided by Arch. So we have our own hostel facilities for girls. For boys, like ma'am said, that we facilitate the complete process, and we have fixed PGs that are in touch with us, and we have already students staying in these PGs. Is a design, next question is by Sohani, is a design made by identification and experience in a specific sector preferred over a design made with knowledge and creative eye in the long run? Okay, sort of jumbled here. Is a design made by identification and experience in a specific sector. Identification and experience in a specific sector preferred over a design made with knowledge and creative eye in the long run. Well, I think what you're asking is the same question, Swani. Identification के लिए creative eye चाहिए. Identification इसी से करोगे, आंखों से. और experience के लिए knowledge चाहिए. So the only part that is left is specific sector preferred over a design. How should I put it? Bhargav sir, how would...
Yeah, I'm trying to understand this.
Yes.
Design made by identification and experience.
So it becomes
In a
maybe...
specific sector preferred over a design made with knowledge and creative eye in the long run. You see, there are so many different ways of approaching a design challenge, and different people have different ways of approaching. Sometimes you take it through your previous experience, you bring that experience into the current design challenge and try to do that, or totally think of something new. So it depends on your clientele, what time you have, how much budget you have, and what's level of passion and enthusiasm you have in order to carry it out within that span of time. So it depends on certain situations, right?
What is... Sanya says, what is the difference between fashion stylist and fashion designer? Do both are same?
See, the fashion designer generally looks at the overall thing, and he or she creates the entire process right from a concept to the outfits. The stylists, this is my understanding, is like they put pieces together to create something for, say, some people, special people, celebrities. They kind of create totally different for their kind of styles and behaviors and the kind of prominence they require. So, like, they are closely knit together, but it's like, again, as you're saying, visual comm and graphics, like, that's the kind of difference. It's one part of it. I hope that answers your question.
So
Suhani has a question.
Yeah.
How does the tone of the color palette of the space in a specific design help with the interest that the specific piece is given. I don't know. So Manan, if you like to, how does the tone of the color palette of the space in a specific design?
So if you download an application on your phone, it's called Pantone, and I mean it's a fun application. It's free of cost. You can run around your house, and everywhere you point your camera, it will give you a 5-color palette of the things that are there in your camera. So if you point it towards a garden, every different shade that is there in your camera, it will create a color code for it, and it will show it to you. How it makes a different, or how does it enhance a specific piece, is also something that I will cover on the course, and you will learn this during the program, Sohani. So
It'll be part of your color theory.
color
program.
theory. So rather than answering the question,
Yes.
how about you come
Yes.
here and I show you how it's how you
Absolutely.
figure it out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Some things need to be left unanswered, I feel. So remain curious, Sohani. I love that you're asking so many questions. I would encourage others to ask more questions as well. So just to add to the previous question about fashion stylist and fashion designer. So every domain that we are, delivering, be it fashion, jewelry, interiors, product, graphics, every domain has a stylist. The only difference between a stylist and a designer is that stylist has a more inclination. It is a subdomain of a designer, but their inclination is towards what works well with what. Sometimes people are good at designing, but they are not good with ensuring that what combinations will make it look the best. A fashion designer might be creating amazing, beautiful clothes because that is his forte, but he does not know that how should I take a picture of this dress that it looks the best to the world. So that is the part of styling. Same goes for interiors, same goes for products, same goes for graphics. So how the overall look and feel, the branding, the identity, the visual communication part of it is the stylist, and the core design development, the functionality, the user is the designer. So the experience versus the look is what I would say, that these are two different senses where this particular field bifurcates. So if you're more of a visual person, you go into styling, and if you're more of a hands-on person, you remain a designer. But most designers, they have a love for styling also. For some people, it comes very natural. That what looks good where. I'm sure you would all have moms in your house who create corners that look beautiful in the house, despite they not being fashion designers, jewelry designers, product designers, but they just have a natural flair of making a corner look very beautiful, right?
It's
so that
more
is
aesthetic, yeah.
So it comes with experience, it comes with your own interest, it comes with observation, right? Is there anything that should be learned before the course? No, I think that is our job.
Come, I mean, you
That is our job. Yeah, we are here to explore.
Yeah. Just come over.
Just come over. Yeah.
Have a good time and then come over.
We'll have good fun.
Yeah.
No need to learn anything new. We'll figure everything new on the program.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we close the session for today?
Yeah. Any other questions if you have?
If you have any other questions, and if you don't want us to go right away, you can write stop in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll leave you to it, to simmer your thoughts, and I look forward to the program.
Shall see you.
We shall see you soon.
Just to add a few more things before we go towards the end of the session. So we are hosting open days from 5th to 15th of April, as all of you know. Once again, extending our invitation to come along with your parents, your family, to see the campus, see what we do here, what are you going to learn, meet people, faculty, students. So it's an invitation. So 5th to 15th April is the open days. You can block your slot. The forms has been shared with you earlier. So you can block your slot and you can visit us. And yes, 10th May we start. So 3rd April is the day by when you have to deposit your initial fees to block your seat. And in case you still want to have some time, let us know. You have to write an email to us. I'm sharing an email ID here in the chat box. So write an email there, today's session. And if you have any further questions and queries, please feel free to be in touch with us. And we're there to help and support as in well what we can. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Manan, for joining in today.
Right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you for patiently listening to myself and Bhargav sir. We'd be happy to answer any questions. You can send it across to admissions@rg2.org.